you just heard Natural Woman by Kayit. God, I've got to say, what a powerful song that is.
Indeed.
So you're listening to Collarts Live on SYN with Bruno and Sienna from Collarts.
Yep. So, last night concluded the 2021 AFL draft. First round picks were on Wednesday night. For those unfamiliar with the drafting process, basically, every team in the AFL receives some draft picks to pick players for their list next year. Talk about a tongue twister. The draft picks are allocated in reverse order of the ladder. So North Melbourne, having finished 18th last year, found themselves with pick 1. They picked up a very talented player, Sienna. What are your thoughts on young Jason Horne-Francis?
Gosh, I've got to say, what a pick up there. I definitely was a little bit surprised, but I definitely think he's going to fit into the club culture very well.
Absolutely. They sort of do need something to restart their climb up the ladder after finishing last for the first time in a while, at the very least.
Yeah, but I've got to say, out of all of the AFL draft, the one thing that stood out to me was the father and son duo. I know previously we've had some of the children coming in, but this year I feel like there were a lot more.
Yes, a grand total of 5 out of 65 picks. So just running through them, pick 2, Sam Darcy went to the Bulldogs. Pick 4, Nick Dacos went to Collingwood. And then at the later ends of the draft, 59 was Jason Archer to North Melbourne. 60 was Jace Burgoyne to Port Adelaide. And Taj Woden, son of Shane, to Melbourne with pick 65. So it's good to see that an older rule, sometimes controversial, has remained a big part of the draft this year.
Yeah, definitely. And going back to Nick Dacos, I feel like the media was just surrounding him in these upcoming weeks and going straight into Collingwood and picking up his dad's old jersey number. Like, what are the odds?
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, he does have an older brother, Josh, playing for Collingwood. So, I mean, the word has been that Nick might be the standout of the two. So it doesn't shock me too much, but it is a lot of pressure, certainly, for all of these players. Yeah,
playing with your brother and then also following your dad's footsteps. I just could not imagine what sort of pressure's on him right now, what's going through his mind. There's just so much happening.
Yeah, and honestly, sort of a miracle that he did slide to pick 4. Lots of talented players at the top end of this draft. But perhaps, also to mention, Naziah Wanganeen Miller, son of St Kilda 30-gamer Terry Miller, was picked up as well. Not part of the father-son rule, but a fun little tidbit there, pick 11. But there was one thing that was even more prolific than the amount of father-son picks in the draft this year.
Yeah, what's that, Bruno?
6 players with the name Josh were selected.
I tell you, the AFL hasn't got the whole rule of don't go for guys named Jay.
Yeah, there are a few Jessies, Jais, even a player called Judson. Can't say it's a name I've ever heard before.
No, it's definitely new to the AFL.
Yes. Well, all in all, I guess we'll see in the years to come who really wins with their picks in the draft. But in order to celebrate North Melbourne's first ever pick 1, we will be moving into a track titled Elephant by Tame Impala in honour of the time in 1978 that they brought an elephant to a home game at Arden Street Oval. And on the other side of that track, you'll hear Betty and Maya talking about dating apps.